I want to tell a tale. It's a tale of two Ezras. Ezra HaSofer and Ezra Sausen. Ezra Sausen. Now Ezra HaSofer, he was from the time period of 440 to 480 BC, 2,500 years ago. He led the Jews back to build the second Beit HaMikdash. He was born in Galut. He made Aliyah to a then very young Jewish state, which was trying to find its identity. But more importantly, he canonized Tanakh. Some would even say he invented the Tanakh. He decided what gets included and stopped. That's Ezra HaSofer. Ezra Sausen. Ezra Sausen was born in Israel, also in a Jewish state, also trying to find itself, and not yet perfected. But Ezra Sofer and Ezra Sausen have a symbiotic relationship. They both draw strength from each other. Ezra Sofer, he looks down, so to speak, at this Jewish state, struggling to find itself, but seeing that it's growing by leaps and bounds in population and in Torah. Ezra Sausen, he draws his strength from Ezra HaSofer in the Torah that Ezra kept. In fact, Chazal say, had the Torah not been given to Moshe, it would have been given to Ezra. The truth is, there's many Jewish personalities and names that we can try to draw strength from, and we can try to pull from, and we can try to name after. But the impetus for us deciding to use the name Ezra actually comes from a friend of mine that I grew up with. A boy I grew up with in Elizabeth, New Jersey. He was 2 years younger than me. Came from a very prestigious family of Lamdanim. His father was my 5th grade Rebbe. And I was sitting right next to him in shul. His name was Ezra. Ezra Whitkin. Now Ezra had a great personality. He was funny. He had even better me dope. And I'm talking about at a young age. Unfortunately, Ezra developed cancer at a very young age of 13. He fought valiantly, and he left at the tender age of 16, over 20 years ago. I never forgot Ezra, like many others. One story that comes to my mind, when he was sick in the hospital, terribly sick, President Clinton was supposed to come to his ward to visit the kids. Also happened to have fallen out on Simchas Torah. But Ezra had no interest in meeting the president. He wanted to be with his yeshiva, dancing from his wheelchair on Simchas Torah. And in fact, his brother Menashe took him and wheeled him 3 miles each way so he could be with his yeshiva on Simchas Torah. When he came back, the guards and the doctors were like, how can you have missed this? This was like the highlight. The president was here. He just simply said, smiled and said, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. That was the kind of kid that he was. He was a very special soul. He's missed, and I'm honored that my son will bear his name. Now, Miriam and I both share maternal grandfathers with the name Tzvi. Miriam's grandfather, Tzvi Danziger, he survived the Holocaust. He built up his family. He built up a business, of which me as 3rd generation am part of. He kept Shabbos. Often one of those guys that lost the job going from week to week because he couldn't work on Shabbos. Never compromised. Smiled all the time. Really learned a ton. Was a fantastic husband. And an overall very special person. I never met him, but I always have felt as if I did. My grandfather, my maternal grandfather, Moshe Tzvi, he escaped Poland literally by hanging on to the side of a train. And he made it to America. He also kept Shabbos. He would send money to his siblings to try to get them out. He was successful in some of those cases. And quietly, he helped found Yeshiva Or Sameach in Yerushalayim. Now look, Ezra Tzvi has a lot of strength to draw from and a lot of role models to look up to. The first, ultimately, being is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, Ezra, our helper. And it's really with much gratitude to Hashem that I even stand here today. So I say to Hashem publicly, thank you. Thank you for my family. Thank you for bringing us to Eretz Yisrael, for my life. Without you, I have nothing. Miriam, without you, I am nothing. You're a great mother, full of emunah, grace, beauty. You're my soulmate. Thank you. My in-laws, thank you for all your support, emotional, materially. I especially thank you for your daughter. Fantastic in-laws. And in fact, I actually have an eligible bachelorette sister-in-law. So if you want to get in-laws like them, better grab her quick. Harav Brody, having you here in Efrat to serve as Sandik at our son's bris is something very meaningful to Miriam and I, and in fact everyone that's here. The teachings that you have given over in the name of Rav Shalom Arush, and of course Rabbi Nachman de Breslov, has changed our family dramatically. And it's given us the courage to even make Aliyah, and to begin even the process of truly speaking to Hashem in the form of Ibodadu. Rav Brody, thank you very much. I hope we'll all be privileged to hear a few words from Rav Brody later. And really to the community, to all of you, leaving Cleveland wasn't easy. We had a great family, great friends, great support network, but all of you have made it a really smooth transition. And it's been a tremendous support to Miriam and I. Thank you, really. Ezra Tzvi. Look, we live in very interesting and exciting times, no doubt about it. My bracha to you is that you should pull from the strength and the teachings of your namesakes. For the way they led their lives, you should live yours to the fullest, while maintaining a strict adherence to Torah Yisrael, Am Yisrael, and Eretz Yisrael. Thank you all for coming, and Chag Lag B'Omer Sameach.
With Hashem's loving grace, L'chov Simcha. That's the middle of the day. People are in a hurry. We're not going to take too much time, but I just want to say, first of all, thank you, Hashem. Thank you, Hashem, for allowing us to have a special Sudat Mitzvah, the presence of Eliyahu Navi. Thank you, Hashem, for allowing us to share in the Simcha of Yossi and Miriam. And I have to say that the Gemara says, first of all, that a person's biological parents bring him to this world. When the Gemara says why a person must honor their spiritual guide, is that a person's Rav brings him to this world and the next world. That's a Milah. So I feel very much like a parent to Yossi and Miriam, and to see them grow, to see what they've done from Cleveland, and to come to Eretz Yisrael, and to see the pasuk Urei Bonim Uvnei Vonim, that they see the sons of sons here in Eretz Yisrael. And I was thinking, Hashem gave me a thought. I said, if that baby, if Ezra Tzvi would have been a girl, Yossi and Miriam would have sure called her Emunah, because they spent so much time and effort spreading Emunah in Cleveland. Now they're doing it in Efrat. But they still did. You see, Yossi, he hides himself. He's at a much higher madrega and he wants to let you know, but he's still stuck Emunah in the baby's name, because Ezra Tzvi in Gematria is 102, and that's Gematria of Emunah. Okay? So that baby Ezra Tzvi, Bezrat Hashem, will grow up, Bezrat Hashem, with Torah in Emunah. If someone learns Torah and they don't have a smile on their face, then they're not learning Torah, because Torah should bring to Emunah. And how do you know a person has Emunah? A guy may have long payas and a long black coat, and he's got a face like this. Once we're in Detroit, and I was walking down the street on Shabbat on the way to shul, and I had a shtreimel. So I here's another guy in Detroit with a shtreimel. So I said to him, "Good Shabbos." He said, "Oh." I looked around. I said, "Well, I don't look like the Hamas. I don't think I'm not wearing it. It's a shtreimel. It's not a kafiyah." Yeah, then what other Jew with the shtreimel in Detroit? You can't get a smile, a shmechel, good Shabbos. No. Okay, but that means when we have Emunah, we have a smile on our faces, because Emunah is a declaration that we like the way Hashem is running the world. And Baruch Hashem, Hashem has given us the bris. And see, one thing, let's talk only good about Klal Yisrael. Only good things. People talk about that, this. I was once in the mikveh, and there's two guys talking, and they say, oh, the Hasidim are like this. And if it's the Hasidim or Chabad, they're even worse than that. And Breslov, oh, not that. And then the Litvaks, oh, like that. Oh, and then the Mizrachnikis, oh, they're like that. And oh, the Sfardim, like that. Oh, the Ashkenazim, they're like that. That's wait a second, I look around, and I couldn't hold myself in anymore. I don't like to criticize anybody. I said to these guys, I said, you guys are worse than Hitler. He says, what do you mean we're worse than Hitler? I said, Hitler had equal opportunity gas chambers. They all burned together. And according to you guys, you're the only two Jews. Everyone, this was no good, this was no good, this was no good. So we only talk good about Klal Yisrael. And a great thing, Ribono Shel Olam. Look, we did a bris. Now, Yossi and Miriam, Baruch Hashem, were Shomer Shabbos and Eretz Yisrael. But what's the great thing? Not only Yossi and Miriam, but everybody does bris to their kids. Everybody's connected to Avraham Avinu. This is the beauty of Am Yisrael, and this is the eternality of Am Yisrael, the eternity of Am Yisrael. Eternity and beauty, you know what that's today. Today, in the 49 days of Omer, this is the day of Netzach, eternity, and the week of Hod, Hashem's splendor. What is Netzach in Hod? Even though we say Yesod is Kedusha, but the beauty and the eternality of the beauty is the Oid Brit Kodesh, the holiness of Am Yisrael. You know, Shir HaShirim, people look at it, looks like a love song, but it's a whole thing, it's a dialogue between Knesset Yisrael, the Shechina, and Ribono Shel Olam. How beautiful you are. What's how beautiful you are? Hashem says, Achoti Kala, my sister, my daughter, my beloved. What's my beloved? Hashem's talking to Am Yisrael. What makes Am Yisrael beautiful is the Kedusha. And what's Kedusha? That's what we call in Hebrew Shmiras Habrit, the guarding of the covenant. You don't have to go to Revlon. You don't have to go to the best hairdresser. As soon as a person has Kedusha thoughts, he thinks of Kedusha. If a woman wants to be beautiful, I'll teach you a real quick secret. Close your eyes and so Shiviti Hashem L'negdi Tamid Yud K Vav K. When you open up your eyes, you have a sparkle that no S.D. Lauder or Helen Rubinstein can put on your eyes. A guy comes to me recently, and he says to me, Reb Lazer, I don't understand what's the matter. So he says, I've had for 8 years, I've been married 8 years, I've had great shalom bayit. And I came home and out of the clear blue, my wife yelled at me. She couldn't look at me. Well, I didn't think a word. Hashem put the words in my mouth. I'm just Hashem's mailman anyway. I don't have any of my own. But I know that I don't know anything, so it's easy for Hashem to progress. If someone has a brain, Hashem has to work around their brain. With laser, it's easy. Hashem puts it right in. Okay. So Hashem put the right words in my mouth, and I said, hey, bro, what'd you look at? He said, what do you mean what I look at? I said, maybe you were surfing at work on a computer or somebody else's computer. And he got shit. He says, Reb Lazer, how'd you know? I said, as soon as you have a contaminated thought in your brain, you become a behemoth. You've now reduced from a Jew to the level of a behemoth. And you came home, and your wife, she stood under you in Chuppah Kiddushin. You said, Harei at mekudeshetli, kedat Moshe. You stood as a Jew and did Kiddushin to her. She did not stand under the chuppah with a mule. And when she sees a mule comes home, I'm not married to that. He said, I can't believe it. He said, well, the guy saw something that he shouldn't saw, and he lost his Kedusha. But when Cain killed his brother, he went transgressed Torah, he spilled blood. So he lost Hashem's name that reflected from his forehead. So he said to Hashem, every animal that sees me is going to kill me. Why did he say that? Because he now looks like an animal. He doesn't have his divine image. So Hashem had to give him, this is the letter of Cain, Ot Cain. Hashem had to give him the letter Hey in his name on his forehead. The Ha'ot that we say every day in Birkat HaMazon, V'nodelecha. And we thank Hashem for the letter of the Od Brit that's called on our bodies, that is signed on our bodies. Why? Because this is what makes us look like Hashem. This is what elevates Am Yisrael above everybody else. Not that we're more intelligent, we got a higher IQ, and we've done better on our SATs than our Irish and German neighbors. They also get 800 on their SATs. They're bright people. But what makes us what makes it that we're Hashem's beloved, chosen people? Hashem gave us Od Brit Kodesh. And b'schus of this Od Brit Kodesh, that Am Yisrael should have Kedusha, and that's Eretz Tzvi. Why is Eretz Tzvi called Eretz Tzvi? If you ever take a venison, a deer has this beautiful coat. But if a deer is slaughtered, all of a sudden the skin shrinks up and it becomes like a fifth of the size. And you say, how could that be a skin that covered an entire deer? The same thing the Gemara says with Am Yisrael. When Am Yisrael is on its own land, there's enough for 20 million Jews here. When Am Yisrael is off the land, it's barren. Look at the hills. Right past Efrat, they're barren. I know, Bezrat Hashem, by the time we're at the next Simcha and the Sausen family, that all these hills should be green with Am Yisrael, and all the Americans and the Canadians, all the brothers around the world should come to Eretz Yisrael. And Besut, all of us here in Eretz Yisrael, Hashem will bring Mashiach Tzidkenu and rebuild our holy temple and bring the full Gula for redemption of our people, speedily in our days. Amen. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov.
Rabotai Nevarech Yishem Adonai Mevarach Mi'atav Yadolav Nodeh L'Shemecha V'tochim Elai Bruchim Atem L'Adonai
Nodeh L'Shemecha V'tochim Elai Bruchim Atem L'Adonai
B'shut Elayim Menorah Mizkav Litot Batzara Ezra B'Gvura Dirba Merom Adonai
Nodeh L'Shemecha V'tochim Elai Bruchim Atem L'Adonai
B'shut Torah Kedosha Torah hi v'gam perusha Tziva lanu barasha Moshe Eved Adonai
Nodeh L'Shemecha V'tochim Elai Bruchim Atem L'Adonai
B'shut HaKohanim HaLevim Mikra L'Elohei Avrim Vodenu v'chol yim Babercha et Adonai
Nodeh L'Shemecha V'tochim Elai Bruchim Atem L'Adonai
B'shut Meron V'levrotay Yiftecha B'shir Piyus V'atay V'tomar L'Atzmotay Baruch Haba B'Shem Adonai
Nodeh L'Shemecha V'tochim Elai Bruchim Atem L'Adonai
B'shir V'levrotay Nevarech Emeinu Shalom Shalom